And I'll just tell you my story. I've been doing this for 8 years with Perkins. Before that, I ran a family home childcare for 12 years in my house. I have 2 of my own grown adult children, and I'm so happy to be here and working with the 0 to 3s with Perkins. It's been an amazing journey. I just love it. So I won't have everybody go around and introduce yourselves and talk about your kids. If you have a specific question, please feel free to, wave me down. And if there's something at the end that I haven't gotten to yet, we can bring it up, and you can also come talk to me on the side while we're sort of playing with our toys here. So there'll be lots of time for questions and conversation. So the first thing I want to say about this, and can everybody see the slides? Making the decision to have a child is momentous. It is to decide forever to have your heart go walking around outside your body. So we all have hearts walking around in the world outside of our bodies if we're here. Come on in, hi. Jenny, that's my friend Jenny, guys. Hi, I can't believe you're here. We just figured we'd get started because look, as you know, I have a lot of stuff to get through. Some of these ideas up here might be Jenny's, so I might have stolen them from her. I steal things a lot frequently. So I just want to respect and honor this space that we're all in. Like I said, I have 2. One is in college right now. He texted me at 2 a.m. and woke me up because those are the hours that he keeps. So I'm a little bleary this morning. Thank you. My other heart is living in West Springfield, Massachusetts with a bunch of guys in a house. They're living it up. They're having a great time. And he just announced that he wants to go to England possibly at the end of the summer. So my heart will be flying over to England. And, I think we just have to really respect this place for ourselves that, there's just so much about this. Parenting is the biggest thing you're ever going to do. And you feel this. You feel this some days, that physicalness, that actual physical pull of your child being outside your body and what we have to do to take care of ourselves as well as take care of them. So yay, everybody, give yourselves a clap. And I have to do the official, why is play important, so that we can, say that we've done the research. And hello, come on in, there's 2 here, a couple there. And this is play, just for play. There's another with PT and play happening right now, just so you know if you're in the right one. And we had a Zoom earlier this year. How are you? Okay, so we did want to do a little official research here. Obviously, play leads to social and intellectual development. It is not frivolous. It enhances brain structure and function. This is something that I think of so often when I see curriculum and standards going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. When my kids were in kindergarten, the teacher said, I'm teaching a 1st grade curriculum. When I was running a childcare, they wanted me to be doing STEM, which you're kind of doing when you bake cookies and you make Play-Doh and you do these things. But, the age that we have of 0 to 3 kids, they need to play, they need to be nurtured, they need to be loved. And this is where you get that growth. It's not in drilling ABC 1, 2, 3. So that's really one of the big themes I have today, is that play is the key. And this is just a funny this last bullet. I just read that as I was researching, and I thought that applies to our kids too. When they're playing, the animals play. We watch the squirrels run around in the trees and play. So it is one of the most powerful ways of learning. And learning skills for hunting and evading predators. So this is life skills. Our kids are learning life skills through play. I love that too. All right, I wanted to hand out, we're gonna have lots of goodies to take home. I know you got your tote bags. We might fill them up in the first class here. Everybody, if you would like, you get one of my melty crayons. These are homemade specials. And the recipe for these is in the handouts. It's when you have all those old broken crayons laying around the house and you take them and you put them in a silicone and you melt them down into a shape of a crayon. This happened to be Christmas clearance, so I have Christmas light bulbs and Christmas trees, which my nephews loved. I have some hearts, and then these are the ones you just make in the cupcake holders, for our kids who have that bigger grasp and they need the bigger thing to hold on to. Crayons are also not always interesting for kids who are visually impaired. I know that. They do better with markers, and I tell every parent that. But just for fun, you can have some of these. It's helping me clean out my basement. All of this, you're helping me clean out my basement. So, but they're fun to make, and it's a fun activity. A lot of our kids like to peel the crayon paper. Even if they're not playing with the crayon, they're breaking it, they're peeling the paper. So take it and make it an activity. Throw it into a thing, melt it up, make a crayon. Another thing about these is sometimes they don't start right away because if you have a cheaper crayon and that yucky wax melts to the top, she's like, yeah, I know, I did this. So you have to really get in on it. But so everyone is welcome to one of these. And we are going to have you could just take one and pass it around. We are going to make our own fidget toys for sitting in a class. And these are fun. I've used these with my blind kids just as a counting bead. You put 10 on, you can count to 10. They're very simple, very easy. This is another thing about my class is you can make toys out of everything. This is a shoelace and some beads. So I don't honestly know if I have enough to go around here, but this is another thing that you are free to make. And just sit here. While you're sitting here, you can put them on the string. Feel free just to keep your hands busy because I know sitting in a lecture is tiring. Yeah, we're going to get to the rest of these in a minute. There's so many people coming in. This is exciting. I may be running out of, I'm glad I brought all the extra junk. My husband had to help me carry in 4 giant bags this morning, so I'm glad I did. At least everybody will have a chance to get something up here. Oh, and also, in our research, the importance of play for adults. Makes you stronger, smarter, reduces stress, brain function, creativity, social connections. When you're stressed out, you have headaches, fatigue, depression, nervousness, and exhaustion. This is like our daily life, right? And this bottom one I think is really important too. I have parents who have had postpartum depression. I have parents who suddenly are thrown into this world with a child who has impairments and needs and medical appointments and worries and are they going to be okay? It's what we think about all the time, that heart walking around outside the body, what's going to happen for them. And so you might not feel very happy right now, and that is okay too. That is really okay. And a lot of people will say to me, I come in, I say, sing songs, show your kid this so they'll track and they'll have something to look at. And they go, I'm not Mary Poppins. I don't want to be Mary Poppins. I'm tired. I don't want to sing songs. I don't want to have to act like I'm really excited and cute and fun. And that's okay too. There's YouTube, there's Alexa, there's lots of other people who can sing songs to your children. You don't have to do that. But if you can have a little bit of fun every once in a while, that's okay too. And maybe that can help you, connect with your kid and let go some of that stress. And the funny thing is, I happened to rewatch Mary Poppins during COVID, just because what else were we going to do during COVID? And Mary Poppins was actually pretty mean to those kids. I don't know if you remember, but she was not a very nice person. So it's okay to be human. It's okay to be, we don't have to be doing a tap dance to make our kids happy. There's one chair up here, and I don't know if you want to move it to, there might be, you want to bring this one back?
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, so much for coming. This is great.
Just there.
And just another little statement here from the American Academy of Pediatrics so that we can be very official about all the lovely things that play allows children to do. I love the idea of conquering their fears, and we're going to talk a little bit about battling monsters lately, which your kids may not be doing at age 0 to 3, but trust me, 5, 6, they're going to be, waving those swords and guns around. So we'll talk about that because that's a very sensitive thing. But I love that idea of it helps them conquer their fears. That's what they're doing, I need some power and control. I have to be strong too. So if I have to whack this tree with a stick and it looks like a sword and that's what I'm calling it, then that's that imaginary play that allows them to help master the world. And then I love, again, the bottom one, play is a simple joy that is a cherished part of childhood. And we just forget that so much. And again, I know we're all here with so many concerns and burdens and worries for our children. And that's such a hard thing to bear. And it's hard to remember to play sometimes. We forget that. So I'm so glad that you're all here to try to work out some ways to build that back in. So this is my nephews. And my husband and my father-in-law were playing The Floor is Lava. And I'll just play it and you can see what happens.
Whoa! Good job, Williams. Blue. Oh, I don't know. That was hard, wasn't it?
So you saw they just are jumping from color to color. We have all the colors on the floor. They're very close together. The Floor is Lava is a game where the floor is lava, and you have little colored patches. And there are rules. There's a spinner, sort of like Twister, and you say blue, yellow, green, whatever. They jump from patch to patch. And if they fall off, they have to get a challenge card, and they have to do the challenge. And if they get 3 challenges, they're out of the game, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that's how we played The Floor is Lava with the 4-year-olds? That was it for 45 minutes of we're going from color to color to color. And there were tears and recriminations, as my husband calls it, in the middle of it all. If someone's foot came off and they missed their color. And at one point they were helping each other, which was so great. I couldn't fit 3 videos on this. But one of them couldn't reach and the other one, they're twins, one of them grabbed and pulled the other one onto the color, So this was all just such a beautiful example of socializing. And we're going to talk a little bit more on the next slide about how important it is to let them make the rules. And then we follow, and that makes the play so much easier. When we come in and say, you have to get your challenge card, he literally ran into the kitchen, screamed, cried, threw a fit, kicked the fridge, So we didn't do the challenge cards. We learned that was not a thing that was going to happen. And just for fun, just so you can know, this is the life that I've led with children in my house. This is my husband. Save me. They're just laughing hysterically at him. I don't know if they eventually saved him. I can't remember, but eventually all our games devolved into something like this, and why not? There's the fun. Even if you can get into that silly, imaginary, goofy place for a few minutes, do it. It's so worth it. You could see the joy in my little guy's face here. He's just so thrilled. They love Uncle Rusty. So undirected play, that's what we're talking about here. It allows children to learn how to work in groups, share, negotiate, resolve conflicts, and learn self-advocacy, throwing a tantrum and running in the kitchen. I'm not happy with this. When it is child-driven, that's another big theme we're using here today. They're doing decision-making, moving at their own pace, discovering interests, engaging in the passions they wish to pursue. I love that. This is the link for this quote. And when it is controlled by adults, they acquiesce to adult rules and concerns and lose some of the benefits that play offers them. I love that idea, particularly in developing creativity. Why? Why, when your 2-year-old wants to, not use the challenge card in The Floor is Lava? Why do we feel so, we got to get in there and be like, no, you have to use the challenge card? That's that whole idea. They're going to have to acquiesce to what we want when we really are trying to say, go be creative, live your life, explore the world. So we want to make sure they get that undirected play and we're not trying to manage it. Oops. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is my daycare. Does anybody have any thoughts, questions, concerns, challenges at this point? This is my first heart, who is now walking around in West Springfield, living his life with his friends. And in this picture, as you can see, what he's got going on here is the Human Torch for a mask, Darth Vader for a cape and a belt, and obviously his Spider-Man costume. He's living his life to the fullest. This was one of my childcare girls who always thought she was his mom. And you can absolutely see that in her body posture, the way she's looking at him. Will you get yourself together? Please. We are serious here. And then I've got these 2 little guys over here. They've got their swords. They were probably around 4, 3 or 4 at this age. They were getting ready. They were plotting over here. They're plotting against these two or something. But like, this was the beauty of a day of chaos and play in childcare. They just got to do whatever they wanted. It was dress up day. She's dressed up as a boy. You know, he's, I believe, a police officer, and he was one of the rules guys. He very much loved the idea of rules. So, you know, they're all just having fun, and let them do it. You know, I love this quote here. Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. I'm big into quotes. I had a quote wall in my childcare, and all of these were somewhere on the wall so that I could see them every once in a while and remember, yes, you're taking this too seriously. Stop it. And I'm going to try to move through my journey quickly on this because it's a hard journey. It took me 3 or 4 years to really figure it out. And really what they want is you. They want you to play with them, to be with them, to give you their attention, to nurture them. And that's really super hard when you've got to deal with the medical bills and the doctor's appointments and EI's coming in and I forgot and the house is a mess and I don't want them to see and maybe I didn't do my parenting right this week and I forgot to do the goal they told me to work on. And how can I just now sit down? It's like when someone tells you, like, you know, if you're too stressed out, just do yoga every day. Like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah. I would love to. So now I'm doing that, standing here telling you, just play every day. Just add that in on top of the yoga and everything else you're already doing. But we're going to try to find some ways to work it in that make it a little easier. Because when you give them a little bit of you, then you get back a little bit for yourself. You get, you know, they feel good, they're happy, they can go entertain themselves for a while, and then you've got some time. And another thing that was so huge for me was learning to go at their speed, especially for our kids who have different needs. Being able to not be, I was, you know, the go, go, go businesswoman. I was, you know, out the door, got to be at work on time, get the coffee, da, 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 da. And to be able to turn like putting shoes on into an activity where it's like, put your shoes on, put your shoes on, put your shoes on, put your shoes on. You know what, I'm just going to sit down here and putting your shoes on is going to be the activity that we do for 15 minutes. And maybe now this is where we do a little joking, like, oh, your feet are so stinky, you know, like to try to get that moving along. But that was one of the hardest things for me to do, and it's probably hard for some of you too, to be able to just be like, you know what, it takes me 40 minutes to feed this child every day, and I'm not having fun, and this is not playful, but to sort of give it over to that. And the beauty of running a childcare was I was getting paid for that, so I did get to sit down and enjoy those moments. And I sometimes felt bad for those parents who were off at work running around in that hamster wheel. And I was like, I'm sitting here picking daisies with your kid and it's awesome. So being able to get to that moment and just slow down and stop and put those other things out of your mind is another art. It is an art form. It is not easy. And my mentor, who I'm going to talk about a little bit, talked about you only have a 2-year-old once or twice, maybe 3, maybe a few more if you've got a lot of kids. And so you don't have to be an expert on the 2-year-old. You just have to get through that. And then you're going to have to be an expert on a 3-year-old and then a 4-year-old. And so I had the benefit of being an expert on a 2-year-old for 12 years, you know? And so that's what a lot of your EI providers have, that experience when they come in. And it's like, how did you get them to look at that thing I've been trying for 20 years, you know? Well, I've been doing this for 20 years. So that benefit really helped me learn this. And because it was my job and my career, I had to figure it out. I had no choice. So luckily I had a mentor who helped me do that. And so she saved my childcare business. It was year 3, the make or break year. And I was literally on the floor. I'm not ashamed to tell you this. I was in the fetal position crying because I could not run my childcare. I was done. I had it. They beat me. They beat me. 2 of my own kids, a few other kids. They were all safe, they were all happy, they were all cared for. We were not battling, it was not terrible, but I could not do it. I didn't know what I was doing. So I had this wonderful friend of mine, Pam, who had been my childcare provider for that little guy, the Human Torch. And she came in and she worked with the kids and I just watched her. So you probably have the opportunity, if you've got a TVI coming in, other early intervention professionals, you're able to watch how they're interacting with the kids. But I was able to watch Pam, and these are some of the things that she did. First of all, talking to the kids like they were humans. What? No, like, I'm in charge. You go put your shoes on. You go eat your food. You take a nap. Da, da, da. And she was like, oh, what, you don't want to put your shoes on right now? I know, I don't either, but I want to go outside, so I have to put my shoes on. What do you think? Do you want to come outside with me? Do you want to put your shoes on? Just like, again, getting to their level, talking to them. Like, okay, let's just talk about this. I recognize you're not having fun. Neither am I. How do we fix this? Watching and responding. She had this amazing ability to be watching the kids and just responding to their body language, their cues, their nonverbal, cues that were fantastic. She did a lot of imitating, which is a huge thing I'm going to talk about with the play. I know a lot of our kids have modalities, and they maybe don't want to pay attention to our play, and they don't want to use the toys the way that we are trying to get them to use the toys. But if they're just sitting here, let's take something I'm not going to hurt someone with, if they're flipping the toy, then you go in and flip the toy too. Oh, we're flipping this. I'm imitating you. This is really weird. Why are we doing this? I don't know. But suddenly they're like, oh, you're speaking my language. Let's flip the toy, So that imitating is such a huge, huge thing, and it works really well for a lot of our kids who are just like, I'm playing with this toy right here, right now, and I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. Speaking for the child, I love, and you'll see this a lot in daycares if you have a good daycare provider, if your child is in care, and you go in there and you see them talking for the child. Oh, Johnny's got that toy and you want to turn with it. Okay, let's ask him if you can have a turn. Oh gosh, the dog just jumped up on you. Are you okay? It's that recognizing them and speaking for them. Being silly, obviously. Helping the kids take turns. I made the worst mistake of, it's your turn now. Stop it, give this toy. Or if someone grabbed a toy, you can't grab the toy, don't do that, give it back to them. And there's such a very simple technique. This is for folks who have siblings. You're done with, you want to turn with this. Okay, Sally, when you're done with that, will you give him a turn? And pretty much like 75% of the time, they'll be like, yeah, here you go. You're nodding your head again. I love this. She knows it all. But it's such a beautiful trick. And then if they don't give a turn, it's just like, okay, we're going to make sure you have a turn in a few minutes. And you do keep that in mind. When that kid is done with the toy, go get it. So here you go. Here's your turn. Sally, thanks for giving him a turn with that toy. So it's a lot of that. You're negotiating and doing all of that talking for them. Obviously, they're two. They don't talk yet. Playing with anything handy, the red Solo cup is a funny story because, again, I learned this from Pam. We had gone out to dinner. I said, I will not take my children into a restaurant. I'm not going to pay for food that I have to manage my children for the next hour and a half while everyone in the restaurant is looking at us like they want to kill us. And she was sitting at the table. She said, we're going to do this. We're going to a restaurant. I'm like, okay, Pam. She challenged me. And she had a straw. And she was playing with the kids and making them laugh and doing silly things and bouncing it on the table and whatever she was doing. She was probably like blowing little, take the paper off the straw, make a ball and blow it around the table. They're wildly entertained. And I'm like, I could never have done that by myself. So the red Solo cup was one day recently I was in a visit and mom had to take a phone call with the hospital. She had to take this call and make we know how this is. When the hospital calls, you get on the phone. So me and dad were waiting in the room and they didn't want me to go ahead with the session without mom there. So we're just waiting and waiting and waiting and mom's dealing here's my 87 insurance numbers. She's on the phone for a long time. I had a cup. We were making it into a hat. We were making it into a phone. We were talking into it. We were spinning it. We were flipping it. We were doing all these things. And the dad was just like, how did you do that? All we had was a silly red Solo cup. And I'm like, because Pam showed me how to do it with a straw 15 years ago, so that's how I know. And the Power of Now was popular when my kids were young. Does anybody remember the Power of Now? That was another thing that saved my life when I was on the fetal position crying, saying I can't run this daycare anymore. The Power of Now is that moment. Just be in that moment. I know I have to do the laundry. I know I have to do the dishes. I know I have to call the doctor. But right now, my kid is in front of me. My kid needs me. Let it go. How do I get into that moment with him? So I'm not saying go out and read The Power of Now, but if you can even remember that title, this is the moment. Be in the moment. The real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you're doing in the here and now. Instead of calling it work, realize it's play. Play! Play is fun. And this is like, look at me, I'm being a goofball, right? This was not the goofball before the kids. I was a very serious person. And I didn't go into people's homes and roll around on the floor and sing songs with their kids. I did not do those things. It's a learned skill, but it's worth it. A few more quick things. Let's see, how many more of these do we have to do? I want to get through to the point where we're going to have fun. Validating kids, ignoring the aggressor. I don't want to get too much into behavior. Halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. This works for adults as well as children. If someone's being cranky, think about those things, how you can meet those needs. I mentioned this before, you give them 5 minutes, you're going to get 10 minutes. In a lot of cases, some of cases with our kids, they want us a lot more than that, but that's okay. You'll build into the skill. If they don't get the positive attention, they'll seek the negative. I'm not getting into behavior today, but that's a whole other class. We'll do that another time. There are, in my handouts, there is a long list of, in the bibliography, there's a long list of articles about behavior, including with kids who have vision impairment, how to try to handle some of those behaviors that they have. So remember that if they are having a tantrum, again, they want your attention. If they're hitting someone, they want your attention. If they're biting, they want your attention. So try to turn that around and turn it into something good. I noticed you were really upset, and you chose to go over and get your Chewy instead of biting your sister. Good job. Let them lead the way. Join in, you might like it. All of my best games were invented by the kids, and you saw that in The Floor is Lava. You'll see it in another video, and you'll see it in all of these toys. You know, a lot of these were created by kids playing with toys in weird ways. I think here, that quote has sometimes been given to Maya Angelou, but I also heard that it was from this person. This was the guy that was on my wall, on my quote wall, so they'll forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. All right. Mr. Rogers, another one of my favorite people in the world. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Play gives children a chance to practice what they're learning. I stole that from a daycare that I walked into, and they were giving it out on kitchen magnets, so now that's on my fridge. So how do we play? We've already talked about get low, slow down, be with them in the moment. Grandpas and grandmas or people who are sitting still at a party, those are the ones that the kids go to. Why? Because they're sitting still, they're available. They're obsessed with those people. Because they're just like, I'm just sitting here watching football. Oh, here's the kids. The kids are like, I see you, I got you. So when you stop, they come to you. Body language is huge for our kids, especially those with the vision impairments or other modalities where they're not communicating verbally. Foot on me while eating. This is my chaotic slides, sorry folks. This is how I remember the stories to tell you. The first time this dinged for me, the light went off in my brain, was during a daycare day. I'm feeding this kid. I've got kids at this table. One of them stealing the other one's food. I'm trying to get the baby's food in their mouth. And I'm getting a little antsy. I'm getting a little, okay guys, let's not be throwing the food over there. I gotta feed this baby. He needs to take his nap at 12:30. And all of a sudden I just felt his little foot on my leg. And he's like, hey, it's okay. You got this, it's all right. And I'm so glad you're feeding me. Thank you. But being aware to that moment of like, oh, thank you, kid. And that anytime a little one comes up and puts their hand on my body, I'm like, that is a thing. That is a moment of, okay. I don't know if any of you ever saw How to Train Your Dragon, and that moment where he puts his hand out and the dragon puts his nose on his hand. Somebody was playing that in their house recently, and I was like, you have to turn this off, I'm gonna cry. That's my favorite part. It's so good. Going at their speed, we talked about that already. In winter, when we were going outside for our outdoor play, that was actually 40 minutes of putting on winter clothes, going outside for 3 minutes, coming back in for another 20 minutes of taking the clothes off. And that was the activity, and that was our outdoor activity, and that's okay. It took a long time, but we did it. Getting messy. I know a lot of people do not want to get their house messy. I'm already obsessed with, I have to clean my house, clean my house, clean my house, clean my house. But if you have to clean your house anyway, let it get messy. And then you can also do we're gonna do an activity in the tub, so we could just rinse off when we're done. We could take a bath at a different time than when we normally do. We can let the kids, one of the favorite things the kids did for me, I had a giant basket of Duplo blocks, like thousands of them, and they had little dustpans. So when it was time to clean up, they would, with the dustpan, dump it in the basket. They loved that. I don't know why, if it was a sensory thing or whatever, but if any way that you can incorporate the child into cleaning with you is great. Even if it's just, here's your rag, and you might just be wiping this window because you happen to be sitting next to the window, but you're cleaning, you're working with me. Puppets. This was Pam made this one. It's very cute. I'm gonna pass it around so y'all can see her creativity. Puppets are ridiculous. I don't know what it is about kids. I'm right here. This is my face talking to you. But they're like, I'm going to tell you every secret I've ever known in my whole life. I don't know what it is. They're just like, this is fantastic. And you can have an entire conversation with this, this guy. This was Sherlock. And he spent many a bath time with my children, my two hearts that are out walking around. And I found him for this class so that I could talk about puppets. And I said to my guys, do you remember this guy? And he says, I don't remember his name. Like, how can you not remember Sherlock? You told him every secret you ever knew. So I don't know why it works. And I was trying to bring some socks to have that as an opportunity today, but then he needed glue and everything. So you guys can make your own sock puppet at home or just buy a puppet because they are magical. I don't know why. Broadcasting, these are a few little techniques I want to get into just so that we can hit. Broadcasting is, you're riding your bike down the sidewalk and you're like sort of like the announcer at a sports thing. Kids love that because you're paying attention to them. You're seeing them, they're being seen. So, I see you're, drawing with your crayon on the wall. You're not supposed to do that, but let's try to find another place you could draw with your crayon. Scaffolding, you probably have all heard about. It's just sort of providing the next step of ability for the child. A lot of these are, here's a shape sorter, homemade shape sorter. I'm going to put it here so that the child can then push it in. Shape sorters kind of drive me crazy. A lot of commercial toys drive me crazy because we put out 8 shapes in front of a child who has CVI or something, and they're like, nope. And then we want them to put the right shape into the right hole, so this scaffolding and zone of proximal development are sort of those, techie terms for, we're going to put it where the kid is and then let them do it. And then maybe next time they can do it themselves. So I do this a lot. I just hold it. It's like, okay, now you push it in. So those are some sort of, I wanted to throw some official terms in there. And there were a couple more I thought of as I was driving here this morning. Incidental learning, so important for our kids who have vision impairment. When they can't see us cooking the food, how do they know how the food got cooked? So we want to bring them into the kitchen. We want to, incidental learning is what you learn from watching somebody else do it. So we want to get them close to what we're doing and try to, again, involve them in the activities that we can. A lot of kids love the vacuum cleaner. A lot of kids hate the vacuum cleaner. If they love the vacuum cleaner, let them have the little hose and do something with it, Incidental learning, backwards chaining is another thing we do with kids who have vision impairment, and if they're tactile defensive, a couple of those things, if you want to come and talk to me about them. I'm realizing that we're getting close on time here. Backward chaining is, this is how I made a sandwich. Here's your sandwich. But let's try to go back and figure out how I figured that out. You're going backwards. Here's the bread. Here's the knife. Here's the peanut butter. We have to put the peanut butter, the knife and the peanut butter. So that's backward chaining. And for kids who are tactile defensive, we have so many of those. I have some things we're going to talk about later to sort of introduce kids to different textures, because every EI person is going to come in and say, have them play with Play-Doh. And you're going to say, oh, they eat the Play-Doh. So in my handouts, there's a recipe. There's a whole document of recipes that are edible. And some of them are just like play with the Jell-O or play with the pudding or play with the whipped cream. So if they put it in their mouth, they're fine. But there are some actual very nice like cloud dough recipes. So it's kind of squishy and soft that are made with like baby food and things like that. So that's in my handouts. And for introducing textures, we are going to get into this bag, which is dollar store treasures. We'll get into that in a minute. Which is now the $1.25 store. But sorry?
Plus tax.
Yes, exactly. And my boss is in this room, and I know my bill is going up every month when I'm like, hey, I got some more stuff at the $1.25 store, sorry. But there's a lot for those tactile defensive kids. I've had plenty of those who are like, do not touch my hands, do not, and I will not touch anything. My husband actually works with adults, and he had to take someone to get fingerprinted. And you know, has anyone done that lately where they now have the little gel pad? It's like kind of weird. And this is like a 55-year-old man, and my husband's like, put your finger on the gel pad. And he was so tweaked out about it. He's fully blind. He didn't want to touch it. He was like, I don't see this thing. I don't know what it is. I don't want to put my fingers on this. You know, so he had to do that step back and be like, okay, I understand this is freaky for you. Let's try to work it out. How can you put your hand on that? So there's a very good reason kids who can't see are tactile defensive. And so if we want to get into that later, bring it back up and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, here's another one of my little guys I'm working with now. He's got low vision and he's really, really nonverbal, and his mother's really concerned about that. She really wants him to talk. So he invented this game. Like I said, let them invent the game. Get into the play that they're already doing. Don't try to come in and be like, well, here's the Frozen, let's sing, let him go, you know, like, don't try to direct what they're doing, watch what they're doing, and then get into it. And this is what I did with this kiddo, and we did this for a very long time too. Let's go get this lens, let's go. Oh, I love how it bumps. Okay, first of all, Sven, get back on this leg. Get back on it. Okay, let's go for a ride. Yeah, he's pulling. Can I get in there? No? Yes? Yeah, I can get in this sled. I'm so happy. Wait, I want to go in this sled too. Oh, no! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh, who's going next? Wait! Hey guys, wait for me! Wait! Do we have to run after the sled? Okay, let's go. Wait, we're so slow. Wait. Okay, we're moving down. Could you catch that little smile on his face? Yeah. Oh my gosh, he was so happy. So like, what kind of things did you see there that we've talked about so far?
He was deciding
Yes.
who can get it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was deciding. He was in control. He had the control, 100%.
Down.
Yes, down low. Yeah,
Following his lead.
100%.
Being silly.
Yes! Yes, and we did that again, 10, 15 minutes of chasing the sled, and then the sled was running around the room, and yeah, he loves it. And the next time I came back, he remembered the sled game. He wanted to play the sled game. So that's just, that was such a beautiful example. I said to his mom, can we please tape this? I have to teach this class. I also wanted to talk about kids who have very little mobility, and sadly, this kiddo of mine transitioned and turned 3 before I started prepping for this class, so I don't have any videos of him. I wish I did. His arms, he had cerebral palsy, and his arms just were this. No matter what you tried to do, he can't, you know, they're very spastic, or I'm not sure of the technical term, sorry if I got that wrong, but they were so tight that he could really not move his arms very well. He could sit in his Perkins chair and he could kind of get his arms up on the table, but he did a lot of his stuff being held or laying down. He was more comfortable there. And so we invented a game. He loved peekaboo. And if I took a scarf and put it over his hands when he was laying on his back, his hands were up a little bit, he could raise his hands enough that the thing would fall down. Peekaboo! And he was like, yes, I am playing this game. You know, he had 3 older siblings, and they were always looking for ways to try to involve him. He had a light box for his CBI, and I had gotten from the $1.25 store a big old translucent red mug so that he could look at it on the light box. And he was laying on his pad. I was putting the light box down flat next to him, and of course I knocked it over, and the mug fell and clattered to the floor. He thought it was hilarious, laughing hysterically. So that became the game, knocking the mug down. And he could do that enough with his arm. When he was on his side, he could sweep the arm this way and knock the mug down himself. And that was just another aha moment of like, here's our game. He's playing, he's figured it out. It's something he can access. And needless to say, I made mom and dad cry. I was a little happy about that because we were just so happy that we found something that he could, interact with. So there are ways to make it happen if you're paying enough attention. All right. I love this saying. Oops, I'm doing it again, sorry. I love this saying so much. This was me at year 3 of childcare in the fetal position on the floor. Your children will smash your understanding, knowledge, and reality. You will be better off. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Once you let the smash happen and you work your way through it, it's going to be great. So this little darling is another one of the girls I get to work with, and she has a genetic condition where her legs were basically inaccessible to her until very, very recently. And she now has the AFOs and everything, but she would actually like scoot around on her bum, and like these would be her legs. She would just come up to something, and her was so loose there that was how she interacted with the world, that she had a hard time getting up on her knees. So we got the Perkins chair. She's able now to, with the AFOs and the work that she's been doing, she's able to push herself up. The next step is they want to see her walking. So we got the PVC walker from the workshop, and this is her childcare provider introducing it to her. And it was another one of those magical moments where I was like, can I please tape this, because this is how it's supposed to be done. Because I know, and this again, as a parent, if a Perkins person comes in with this sudden equipment for you and you're like, okay, kid, let's do it. I want to see you succeeding at this. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's got to be on their terms, or it's going to be, no thanks. I don't want that thing. Back it up. Beep, beep, and she would push it away, and she would back it up, beep, 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 and then eventually on her own she was doing this. Nope, I'm done. But she came to it, right? And that's where we want to just jump in there and be like, okay, now stand up, you got it, stand, push, push, push. No, we have to resist that urge to stay back. And I actually sent those videos to the parents. I was like, please do it this way. So that they would, she would have the power. She has the power, right? This was the #1 thing on my fridge on my quote wall in big letters. Every time I opened the fridge, I saw it. Every time I got my coffee, this will pass. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, inevitably, if they go off on their own, if they live with you for the rest of their life, they're going to change. Something new is going to happen. And you're only human. Let's bring it back to that idea of what we're going through as parents. The rules change every day, especially when they become teenagers. Saying it 1,000 times, little ones don't have an autobiographical memory yet, and that's why you have to say things 1,000 times. And you want to bang your head against a wall because you're done saying that thing, but that's what they need. That's scaffolding. That's where their development is at. If you do have siblings, take them on dates without the kids. So important when you can. Again, do your yoga, do your play, take your kids on a date, get to the medical point, do all these things. This is very cliche. The days are long, but the years are short. It's very, very true. Like I said, that little guy in the Darth Vader cape is 22 now, and what the heck happened? So this one was also on my wall, and it might make everybody a little bit teary. Cleaning and scrubbing will wait till tomorrow, but children grow up as I've learned to my sorrow, so quiet down cobwebs and just go to sleep. I'm rocking my baby, and babies don't keep. Oops, sorry. And then I love this one. This is new. This I just got from watching Pamela Adlon's show. I can't remember the name of it now, Better Things. This is so great. It's such a great quote. And now we get into the reason they asked me to teach this class. It is, I think we go to 11:30, right? 11:30. We have so much time to play. I hope I got everything. I might look at that and make you all listen to me again in a few minutes, but this is what I'm known for sort of here at Perkins, is being obsessed with toys. And I don't know where to start. We're gonna make sensory jars. We're gonna make, if you wanna make an ocean drum, I love an ocean drum. Where's my ocean drum? Like the commercial ones are super nice. But that's 2 plates and some beads. And for those of us whose children like to tear things apart and destroy them, okay, they tore apart the paper plates. We'll make another one. We'll throw it away. Just don't let them choke on the beads. And this is just super fun for, now I don't want them to be moving. Stop moving. All you have to do is tap and you get the noise. So if a child, again, has limited mobility. So there's, you're gonna make these. We've got sensory jar things. And that's just to begin with. This is another one you can take if you want, because again, I need this stuff out of my basement, which is, I stole this one from an OT. Popsicle sticks and hair ties. We're putting the hair ties on the popsicle sticks. Isn't that fun? And it's fine motor and it's great. All of my toys and activities have a goal, I promise you, or a reason for existing, because we're working on fine motor or depth perception or colors. So the $1.25 store bag. Oh, this one, I'm just gonna get real random here, guys. Sorry, just follow along with me. Stop me if you have questions or comments. I don't know if anyone still has these. They do sell them in the craft store. They used to come as like packing peanuts, but all you have to do is put a dot of water on them and you have sculpture. So that's so super simple, easy, especially if you don't want to make a mess. So those, just so you could look at those. Again, that's the make and take table. Everything in here, I'm going to start passing stuff around. Oh no, wait, one more thing. I told you, chaotic. I'm so chaotic, I'm sorry. For those kids who use a switch, if you have your TBI and you're registered with APH, they have these lovely things now. This fan you can use with a switch, vibrating pad, light box, all those things can be used with a switch. And Perkins has generously provided us with a few of these battery interrupters. So if you have a certain kind of toy, you've got to test the toy out. Don't go out and spend $100 on a toy and be like, it doesn't work with the battery interrupter. It has to be very simple. It has to have an on-off switch and a battery so that you can put this thing in the battery compartment, attach it to your switch, and then when you push the switch, the toy goes on. And now, where's my toy? You guys know I tested this earlier. Let's see if it works. I've got my battery interrupter. This is a very simple toy. It's got an on-off switch with the battery compartment. You turn it on, and now I've got the battery interrupter. It's just a little disc that slides in with the batteries, comes out to this little plug, and you have to have the right plug. They're mostly standardized right now. You know, you're always going to spend money and find out something doesn't work in this world. That's how it happens. But then you attach it. This is an APH switch, very, very basic, and oh, it worked. Press the switch, the light comes on. This is another way for those kiddos. And that kiddo that I was talking about with the arms before, we had a whole bunch of different switch toys turned on for him. He loved it. He would laugh so hard when he turned on his own light box with his switch. It was just delightful. He was so happy. So if you are interested in a battery interrupter, come and see me. We've got some for the smaller batteries and larger. I will let you know, there are, again, instructions in my handouts on how to do them. You have to kind of trim sometimes so that they'll slide in to fit in the battery, and that's okay. You can cut the edges of the little disc and they still work.
Do they make buttons that are smaller to work with? Because our little one loves little buttons.
Yeah, I think the APH probably has some smaller ones you can get for free. They also have a stick one that's just like a joystick, teeny, very thin, and you can just bump into the side of it. But yeah, there's definitely the companies that sell these battery interrupters. There's some listed in my handouts, but if you just search online, they will, there's lots of different ones you can buy. They do get to be different price ranges, so search around. And there are a lot of really helpful, oh hey, there's the joystick switch, Samantha's got it.
If your child needs it, they can just
Thank you. Look, you just had that in your bag. Talk about Mary Poppins. So yeah, there's different sizes, and the companies that sell them, this one was, I got mine from Inclusive TLC, and they sent me this little brochure with, like, you can plug different, there's pictures here, I'll pass this around as well. You can plug different objects into this will also allow you to use the switch with a toy. With certain ones, again, like I said, it can be very frustrating. Go to tag sales, go to flea markets, go to Savers, buy those cheaper toys to test with these because you don't want to spend so much.
I was told that RCP also can load out switches. Just so, I don't know if that's helpful for this family. RCP can load them out to us.
Yes, yes, I love that. There's also, I cover the Berkshires, United Cerebral Palsy, so your regional consultation program?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely places you can borrow them that you can test them out first. And that's a great suggestion, a great idea, because it just does really stink to spend the money and then have to give the toy to someone else. And I do have, like, you want to play? Let's get you a toy. We got to get you a toy. Like I go down to these cheapo ideas because they're transit. We're going to break them. We're going to play with them. We're going to have fun. It's cheaper, and you've got a lot of financial worries if you're dealing with your kiddo has issues, but. I do have in the handouts a sort of sanctioned document of all the toys that we as TVIs think are great for kids that are actually like commercially bought, because it's birthday, it's Christmas, it's holidays, we want to buy a toy for the child, and that I had one who said, everybody keeps buying me dolls, she hates dolls, she's completely uninterested in dolls. So it's like, here's some toys you can really buy. They have lights, they have sensory aspects, and that handout is also in my list of handouts. So here's a toy for you, baby, straight from the $1.25 store. And I love it. Sometimes all you have to do is walk into a house with something red, and the kiddo looks, and the parents are like, oh my God, they're looking. So yeah, let's get into the $1.25 store. This is another thing to show you how easy it is to make a sensory toy. This was from a soy milk. I love this jar. So beautiful. We'll see if this toy actually works. But this was from the dollar store in the candle aisle. It's supposed to be for people who want to make their house look cute and fancy. For me, it's a toy. But it's got all these lovely gems. Let's see if the light works. On, off. Well, it's supposed to turn, but it's not going to, like I said, there's always something that doesn't go right. There might be a little thing to pull out. Somebody might be able to figure it out. But anyway, you would take that, drop it in the jar, throw the gems in the jar, and you have a fun little sensory toy decoration for your kiddo to look at. I'm always trying to say, like, put lights around the environment, and so they've got something to look at and kind of zone out if they feel like it, but also as a visual target. So it might just be, yay, and it's red! Thank you so much for figuring it out. Look at that. And again, I got it at the $1.25 store. So if my kid stomps on it and destroys it, oh well. All right, yay, thank you. You get to keep it if you want now. So pass it around, let everybody have a look. All right, so you're going to have to stop me at 11:30 because I'll go all day with this stuff. This was stolen $1.25 colander with chenille stems, and you've got a little depth perception activity. I kind of bent these so no one gets poked in the eye, but if we want to just take and pass around. That's from the $1.25 store. I wanted y'all to see this. I walk in with this frequently, and people are like, what the heck is that? So this is it in the package. Exactly. And I use it to hang things for kids. But it's called mesh tube, and this is what it looks like in its store form. They have different colors for this. Is St. Patrick's green. Yes. So that's why I leave it like this, because then I send people to go buy it, and they're like, I didn't find it. So this is what it looks like. And I'm going to leave this over here on the sensory table if anybody wants to get at it. There are some things here. I think pretty much you could take everything here. Please don't take my books. These are my books, but I brought them along in case anybody wanted to look. There are some really fabulous ones in here. I didn't end up talking about the kids who are using the imaginary swords, But there's this book here, Taming Monsters, Slaying Dragons, and just had it. Killing Monsters, Why Children Need Fantasy Superheroes and Make-Believe Violence, especially in this day and age when things are pretty scary. And we are very sensitive to this topic. These books really get into like why it's important to allow the kids to explore that. And trust me, I was like, there will never be a weapon of war in my house. It will never cross the threshold. And then you saw Darth Vader over there, right? We had an arsenal. We had so many swords and blasters and things, and it was a hard process for me, but this is helpful. So there's some great parenting books over here in general. There's some on anxiety. There's some on siblings. We got Mr. Rogers, one of my favorite guys. There's some with activities that are inexpensive. So if you want to take a look at those later. Okay, more dollar store. One of our favorites. Always. Kids tear those apart the moment they see them. Anything I put on this table, please feel free to take. When you're making, there's staplers and scissors and things. Oh, also, I found a Perkins hat. If anybody looks good in these beanies, I look really bad in these. So if you want a Perkins hat, go for it. Commercially available, like I said, we've got the list on the handouts. This I found, this is for those texture kiddos. This is moon sand. This was at the party store for $3. I was so excited, I had to bring it to you. And this, which I also use with kids for tracking and just getting their visual attention, this was at the party store for $1. So party stores, check them out. And also for the texture sensitive, I love this Model Magic. I don't know if anybody has tried it. It's like so cool, and it's not sticky, and it doesn't make a mess in your house, and you know, this is a super fun, so we'll leave this on the table for people to try.
It's got a good squish for like that finger strength, you know, when you're thinking about like braille and stuff.
Yeah. Should I pass it around? Will it be gross if everyone touches it? I'll just open one of these little ones. You can start. You can be the first person to touch it since you asked. Yeah, so it's called Model Magic.
Yeah, I love this stuff.
Yeah. And here you can just
But
kind
it's
of
also
tuck it
kind of
back.
like that for people.
It
I have
is.
a short attention span for it. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely, that's the thing. There's so many different preferences. I have sensory stuff myself. I was talking about something in a visit the other day, and my OT friend was like, you know you have sensory stuff, right? I was like, yeah. But like, maybe I don't love that one, but I like the cloud dough, or I don't like the Play-Doh, but I like the homemade version. So it really is a matter of hit or miss with your kid. And this is pretty cheap. You can find it for sale pretty frequently because it does have an expiration date. So sometimes they have it on clearance in different colors and stuff. Let's see. Okay, stick with the dollar store. I'm getting distracted. Woohoo! Flashlight LED, $1.25. Awesome. I love using these for visual targets. And you would be walking through the dollar store. Again, like I sound like I'm like worshiping at the altar of the dollar store. It's ridiculous. But you're walking through and you're like, I don't know, these toys are kind of junky. I don't think my kid's gonna like this. Why would Amy send me here? Look at this! Like, kids go crazy for this! But it's over in the gift aisle, so you're not gonna be like, I'm looking in the toys, and oh, they're crud, I'm not buying these toys. These are super fun. And with that mesh tubing, I actually stole this idea from the Perkins campus. This was the St. Patrick's headband. For people who, I guess, really like to party and go out to parades, have these on. But look at this, I have a visual field. Oh my gosh, I see something over there, right? Like, this is so dumb, right? I would never have done this before I started working with children, people. I would never have put this on in front of you. But we do use this to increase peripheral viewing for kids. Suddenly I have something over here to look at, you know? And again, I've got cause and effect. Whoa, I moved my head, and now I can see that thing. I'm gonna do it again. So, don't be afraid to be silly. For texture sensitive kids, kitchen scrubber. So bright and shiny, so fun to look at. It's got a little bit of fun on this side, a little bit of fun on this side. You could play with it dry, use it in the tub. Get the kids, a lot of my kids, some of them love soft and hate rough. Some of them want rough. This is for those kids who are like, oh, I like that. I need a little extra. I need a little, and for, again, those kids who are going to have, you know, some sensitivity in their fingers because they're using tactile, it's a way to build that up. This is a bath poof from the bath aisle, obviously. I love playing tug of war with it. Some of my kids, it's like, woo, look how stretchy. I wasn't expecting that. You know, we have fun with that. And also for some who like to just kind of dig their fingers in there and pull them around. So any of the dollar store things, if you're like, oh God, I really need this and I'm going to pocket it, that's okay. Just like I said, don't take my books. This I found there, foam beads. Do I know what they are? No. Do I want them? Yes. Slime! I love it!
Mix that into slime, it's a good one.
Yes! See, this is it. I just stole an idea. Thank you very much. There's probably a slime recipe in my handouts, but so I'll put this over here for the sensory table if we want to make something with those. Pom-poms at the dollar store. Here we have, this can go on a light box. It's like an eye mask that was in the bath section, and it's also just fun for playing with. And maybe you need it at the end of the day to put it on your own face because you've had it. But these are really great also when I use them on the iPad. I will often use my iPad as a light box if the kiddo doesn't have a light box or I need something that's a little more portable. And I wanted to show you all. You know, this just kind of wraps right around, so it just stays a little bit more positioned for the kiddo. And the light, oops, my flashlight is, this is actually quite bright. It's just a sunny room here that you can, you know, put it against the light box and have a little bit of shine coming through. The movement is really attractive. And we also do.
What app do you use for that?
This is just a flashlight app. It's got different colors. I put it on super bright. And does everybody know about guided access? Yeah, so you would turn on the guided access so it doesn't do what it just did to me. And then another way, $1.25 store hair gel with $1.25 store pom-poms, and then you've got a sensory experience there. I will pass this around, warning, because it's cheapo hair gel, it's kind of stanky, but you're welcome to play with that. And you can put beads in there, any other kind of little things the kiddo likes. And we could pass that around. Glitter at the dollar store. That's going to go over here for sensory play. These come out in the spring. They're like one of my favorite things ever. I buy like 10 of them when they come out in the spring because they're out there now, like in the garden section of the $1.25 store where I buy all my gardening things. But like these are just like, yes, I love these. So you could find those in the dollar store now. Does anyone have a child who likes to throw? Would anyone like to catch? Oh, sorry, I'll try it again. Sorry. So if your child likes to throw and they're throwing toys around the house, those are those water bombs. They're water bomb, like they're out right now too, even though it's not summer, but you'll see them at the dollar store. It's like they're for water play, but like, have at it. Beautiful glitter ribbon. That's going in the sensory table. Oh, I want you guys to see this. Where's my sensory jar with this in it? I did not know there was such a thing as tube confetti. And this was another OT friend of mine who discovered this and put it in a sensory jar. And I was like, you beat me. How did you beat me with a sensory jar? It's called, I'm going to pass this around as well. It's called tube confetti, and it's like very thin little mylar little pieces, but look at how beautiful that swirls in there. And this is water. Like, this is water. And they're floating around in there. So it's so super easy.
I wonder if like baby oil.
Yes. Yes. I do have a baby oil up here.
Like just for kids who are just learning how to look.
100%. A lot of if you have the money and you can find it, you can buy glycerin is the super best and slowest. But it's like it comes in a bottle this big and it's like $8. You know, it's just not something that's more available. But baby oil is a fantastic idea. In fact, this might be baby oil now that I've come to think of it. but it's baby oil that I got at the dollar store. Okay. Dollar store also has puzzles, which, you know, cheapo, but it's a nice little puzzle. And these little building things, which I love.
What dollar store do you shop at?
Very many, very many. I have one in every town. These are like the other yellow beads. I carry one of these in my bag. Thank you! Thank you! You get to take it home if you want it. Kids are like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Put a bead necklace in it. Dollar store. And I always have one of these in my bag, and they always go missing because the kids are like, give me that. So simple. I found a telephone at the dollar store. That was awesome. Again, for the kids with the textures, you would not think of this if you were a normal person. I am not. You would go like, this is my scrubbing for the kitchen sink, right? But this is so cool. Especially, these ones are a little cheap, but if you get the ones where you can put your hand in the middle, those are fun. Dryer balls for massaging, for a kiddo to massage themselves. Squeeze it in between their arm. I hope I didn't just mess up my mic, sorry. Dryer balls. Tactile leaves, which could go in a sensory jar or a book about fall. What is this thing? I do not know. It was in the makeup aisle. It's a scalp massager. Yes. Okay. This is great. Thank you. Yes. Sensory items. All right, so now I know what to do with this thing. I think I was doing it on this, but now I know it's for this. So that, and makeup brushes. This is another activity. One of my moms just this week, I walked in and she had her a little bottle of cleanser or something that goes on your face, and it had the little squeezy thing at the top, and the daughter was like, this is awesome. And so the mom found it in the couch. She was like, oh great, this is my $40 bottle of Clinique, whatever. And she said she's also obsessed right now with nail polish, and she painted her own lips with nail polish. So, but like getting into the idea of this is like a little nail brush scrubber. Like you get these, and these are like my adult things. You don't play with these. But if the kiddo's obsessed with makeup, go to the dollar store, get the brushes of the makeup, brushes, and they're entering your play rather than you entering their play, right? So those are fun. Mardi Gras bead necklaces we get at the dollar store. These are hair ties. These are hair ties, but they are also chewies, and they are also super fun to stretch and squish. Do you also have these?
I have them in my hair right now, actually.
You can put it, for the kid who wants to chew, right there. Maybe I don't pass this one around now that it's been in my mouth. Sorry. And this is one of my favorite activities ever. Bilateral, hand holding, putting something in, stirring around. You're picking up the pom-poms, and then you have to pull the pom-poms out. Super fun, and you've got a lot of reverberation from this. Am I supposed to be done? Do I have till 11:30?
You have to.
Okay, great, thank you.
You just keep on talking. You do your thing. Just keep going.
Get away from here, still go. I have too many things to do. I found this. Feel it, love it. That was at the dollar store. I don't know what it is. It's a keychain, I think. Some more. This is, I think, a makeup remover. Makeup remover. It was in the makeup aisle. I don't know what it is, but is it for like, to wash? Okay. Because I love that. It's got this lovely texture. And this is, again, for those kids. I had a kiddo who loved nail files, and she wanted to eat the nail files. So here's a nail file you can't eat, and you can also play with. I gave her a nail file. She literally took a bite out of it. I was like, this is not going to work. And then these were there. We're going to show, let's see. I had one kiddo who was fully blind, really needed a lot of input, and he liked big noise. This is a peanut, sorry, I realized it today just as I was setting up, this was peanut M&M, so if anyone has an allergy, I apologize, but these are old cedar balls that I had in my old cedar chest. Yes, it's gonna drive you completely batty, but your kid is gonna be so happy. And these are similar, you can put these in, these are like pencil erasers, but they have that nice little weight to them. You could do that instead of the wood, so it's a little less obnoxious for a sound. Like I said, anything on this table is up for grabs when you come up. Almost done, got the nail files. This is a little homemade toy that also lives in my bag. It's bingo chips that are translucent, so these are fantastic for a light box. I put them in, this is an old gum container, and I glue it shut, and the kiddo has a little light box toy. If they're safe with the tiny things, you can do sorting and things like that. You can let them play with the chips. Some wooden dowels, again, for like found those at the dollar store, couldn't believe it. Another thing, another makeup thing, I don't know what it is. It says Cleansing Duo Facial Brush. So again, as you can see, I don't wear makeup a lot, so I don't know what these things are anymore. I don't know where my scissors went. There they are. But like, yes, oh, this is super soft. It's like oh, I love that. And then you got the other side. That is so cool. And seeing is believing, right? Like if I was walking around telling you guys like, go and buy a scrubber from the dollar store, your kid's gonna love it. You're like, are you insane? But then look at this. It's so much fun when you actually get into it. They have books at the dollar store, little simple board books, and then these ones I'll buy 2 copies and cut out the pictures and make CVI books. You can cut out the pictures, it's a $1 book, who cares if I cut it up? So you can get 2 copies, and they have some pretty decent characters. We had Minnie, Daniel Tiger, and then I cut those out and glue them onto black cardstock so the kiddos have a nice visual. All right, got sticky gems. Yeah, it's just some yarn and sequins. And I do think that one's baby oil. I think I lied before. But I do have one that's water up here. All right, another one of my favorite activities, and this was great for that kiddo who had the arms that he couldn't move very much. Oh, foam shapes at the dollar store. Mylar paper at the dollar store. You can wrap this around anything and it becomes magical. I love that. So feel free to play with that when you come up. Another massager, very nice. These lights that you can put anywhere. Oh, that one probably doesn't have batteries, but you know how these work. That's at the dollar store. These are fun. Coins, they have coins there. So this one, and I'll show you what you do with the coins later. This one is that kiddo who had not great arm movement. You could put his arms into a bowl, right? This I stole from, oh, that's why I had the lights. Because this I stole from a website, which is also in my handouts by one of our great TVIs that we put the balls in the bowl, we put the light in, and they've got a lighted ball activity to play. And he just loved this because he could get his hands in there and he could get his fingers in the ball and pull the ball out. Thank you for being my guinea pig to pass things out. All right. So just a few more examples of things we can make, and then I'm going to let you guys come up here and have at it. You can make your own things. You can talk to me, talk amongst yourselves. I'll go through the handouts. I'll show you before we kind of do, but yes, they're up there. iPad goes on the table that you can't take. Sorry. So I already showed you this one. You know, this is great, and I love the container with the metal bottom because you get the... I went to the dollar store looking for dominoes. They didn't have dominoes, but they had Jenga. So that's the same thing you can use for that little auditory. Put that, well, you know, you can have that. Here's what the coins are for. Again, going to the shape sorter idea where they're always too complex. Stick the coin in the top. You've got a very thin hole in there, so they really have to push and work it down themselves. And eventually the hole's going to rip, and you're going to have to get another yogurt container, and then you've got your toy. This I stole from the Perkins website. It's a rain stick. It's magic! And it's dyed rice. It's, where are my Q-tips? Dollar store Q-tips. Rice. Stick it in a bottle. And this is an activity like a lot of these that you can make, you can do with your child. Like just sit and stick some Q-tips in a jar. Put some Q-tips in a jar. It's fun. I have some more little just sensory jars up here. Water beads are fantastic. I buy these on Amazon for like $8. You get a pack of 50,000 of them. And you can use them on the light box as well. Kind of getting the light inside. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you about is you can also tape these things to a window so that you have a play area. I have a lot of folks with glass sliding doors, and their kids like to play on those. So we do a lot of taping things. Okay, eggs. I love eggs. I love egg cartons. They're one of my favorites. This right here, who can answer the quiz? What is this?
Egg crayons.
Oh yeah, egg crayons are great. These are just Easter eggs. But yes. What is this shape? Anyone who's learning? Yes, braille cell. So you've got several uses in here at once. You've got the braille cell. You could do egg crayons are fantastic because the kids with the grip. And this is just super fun for sorting, putting things in and out of the eggs. I'll let you pass that. And then another genius. Another genius OT idea. For those kids who like a little extra, who really want to get a little extra feedback. You're popping in these. And this also, this styrofoam, we hate it. We can't recycle it. We have to throw it away. But if you get a hammer and some golf tees, oh my gosh, that's so satisfying. I lost a golf tee, sorry. There you go. Almost done. These are my binoculars. They actually work. They're amazing. They are toilet paper rolls with tape. This is Easter eggs. This is my egg shaker for a kiddo who, needs a little extra. Again, if this is just laying next to them and they bump it, they're making noise rather than having to hold and shake and have the grip and all of that. This gives them a little extra fun. This is a fishing game that my friend invented. You get a couple of magnets. These are not from the dollar store. These are from the science store. But the paper clips and the felt are from the dollar store. And you make a little fishing game. That's fun. These clips that you can get at the dollar store, they are wonderful page turners. You can put one on each page for your kiddo who's having trouble turning pages, right? And they are also a great activity for fine motor and pinching and grasp and all of that, just by putting them on and off some cardboard. Very simple. I'm sorry, those got tangled. Another sand jar, sensory sand jar, I Spy, hide and seek. And there is some sand up here. If you want to try to make a small one, there might be some smaller jars in that bag. This is another version with rubber balls inside it. Here's another shape sorter, which is a Parmesan container, pom-poms on one side and Q-tips on the other. Whoops, lost a Q-tip. So this is a more rudimentary shape sorter. One time I watched a PT playing with a child for half an hour, with this empty vitamin bottle and some little crumpled up pieces of paper. And she said, I came here today and I didn't have anything to play with this child except in my car. I had my vitamins and this paper. And she did that. And the kid went crazy. So again, anything you have at hand, you can make into a game. And that smells a little fruity. There are instructions in my handouts for making these braided knot dolls. If you think you can't make a craft, but you can braid. These are just so fun and cute. I have a few extras of these up here, so you're welcome to take one. And these were made by Pam, my mentor. And, oh, super simple, super fun, cookie sheet, magnets, you have an activity. Yeah, it's funny because one of the jars in there was a cinnamon spice jar. Sometimes I make tinier sensory jars. And I opened it and I was like, ooh, cinnamon, like, why not, right? Like if they like it, you know, give them access to the smell. But some kids it's overwhelming, so we don't always. I think that is about it. I'll go over the handouts. Did anybody go to school in the 70s like me? They used to make us do this activity in gym class where we had to bring a bleach bottle from home. So they had us playing with bleach bottles in school, which was awesome. But it was like a highlight. I guess that was popular at the time too, and you were throwing things between them. So for our kids, like, isn't that fun? If you have an older sibling who wants to play with your kiddo and they just hold this and they can toss in. So a milk container and a balloon. Very simple. I didn't get to talk about music, but I believe there's a music class later in the day. So if you go back to, oh, there's Brenda. Did everybody like Brenda? Is she amazing? So if you go back to our this is just the Perkins early CC agenda. If you go search for Perkins, and it's on the QR code that you're seeing everywhere. It brings you to our website. So if you come here and you come to the agenda for the day, you're going to scroll down here to Learning to Play. Here we are. And then the handouts are right here. And there's just so many things in here to look at.